Good evening, good people, and welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Tacoma Maria.
Yes, it is.
And I am your host, Tacoma Maria, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Tyrone.
What's up?
What's going on?
Man, another day in the life, baby.
Another day, baby. How you doing, Ty?
Doing great, doing great. Can't
All
call
right.
it. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing quite well. Thank you.
Yeah, look.
Thank you for asking.
Yes, yeah, looking
I
good.
brought that into 2022.
I did. I was asking, though. I'm just glad you ain't saying, I ain't seen you since last year. I hate that, man.
Yeah, that's so goofy. Like, get the hell out of here with that. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, we have a. It's three of us on stage today.
Is it three today?
Yes,
Oh,
three
shucks.
of us. We have a special guest on today. On today, we have a special guest, Lorenzo Thomas.
Okay, what's up?
What's going on, LT?
Hey, you got it.
All right. Okay. So we just gonna talk a little preliminary trash first. you
Okay,
know.
yeah, like we always do.
Like we always do.
Of
right.
course, of
right.
course.
Well,
So-
I might as well do one libation to the ancestors then.
There you go for the ancestors.
For the
There you go,
ancestors.
man.
This is for the ancestors,
For
you
the
know what I mean?
ancestors.
Only way you live and exist is you got to pay homage to those that came before you. 'Cause
Absolutely
without
do.
them, there is no you.
Amen.
Feel me?
Oh, I got you.
Yes,
Yeah, we ain't
absolutely.
advertising nobody.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
This is to the ancestors.
To the ancestors.
The
Yes.
spirit is the drink and the body is the earth.
It's always interesting when people are not familiar with the concept and they come into your home and they see your your altar. People be looking at me like, what is this? What are those?
Yeah, it messed
What
me
are
up.
you doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but and then you explain, and some folks are like, yeah, okay, nigga, whatever you
Yeah,
say.
I never heard it called an altar, but I realized that I had one in my own place. You know,
Me-
just
Black folk just do.
You just
I think
do.
that's something that intrinsically is just there that we do, that we don't until we learn what those things are.
Yeah.
Then we, you can put a name to it, and then you can do it with more intention. Doing it deliberately, which is important. But I think we just do it. And it was actually a young man here, sitting here at the table, that informed me many, 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 many moons ago that what I had set up on my cocktail table was in fact an altar. I was like, wow, how about that?
Oh,
It
yeah.
absolutely is. But now obviously I do it, with more intention, and I put certain things out, and I get, I do it the way that you do it. But how was your weekend?
you asked me or him. Me?
I'm asking you first.
Me? Oh, it was dope, man. Had New Year's show competition.
Did you?
Yeah, I placed second.
Second?
The
Okay.
guy, the guy who won, I didn't see his set, so I can't hate like I want to.
Why didn't you see a set though, Ty?
Man, I went out to get to smoke a cigarette. Like after my set, I got a whole process that I'd be going. Then my homegirl, she didn't have a good set, so I was consoling her. It was a lot going on.
Okay. I thought we were leaving the cigarettes in 21.
Yeah, but it's stressful, man. The anxiety.
The anxiety.
But on the positive side, I booked a Valentine's show, headlining, paid show. My first one,
Really?
cash money in hand. Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm excited too.
That's good stuff.
So I'm gonna talk about the arrogance of women on Valentine's Day.
Okay. All right. Arrogance of women. So that means I need to come with the ignorance of men.
Yes, you might want to show up.
Yeah.
How was
No,
yours?
that's good stuff. It was good. Nice, quiet New Year's Eve. It wasn't quiet. I swear I thought I heard rockets going off. I don't know what people were shooting, and then my silly butt had the nerve to get in the window. I got in the living room window and I'm looking out.
See,
that's how
yep.
people die. I'm
Yeah.
like, fool, come on up out
Look,
the window.
niggas got AKs. It's the only time of year they get to use them. You know what? Doom, 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 doom. It was just,
And it's like you shoot in the ground, you don't shoot in the air. But nonetheless,
I see niggas shooting diagonal. Like he gonna hit somebody in Dayton.
Should. No, it was nice though. Stayed home. I dressed up to stay home.
Okay.
It was just me, my daughter, and my dog. And
Fancy.
sequin 2-piece outfit at home at the house. But it was all good. It was good stuff. So, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was all
Lorenzo
good.
Thomas?
Yeah, just turned 53 yesterday.
Yes,
so,
somebody had a
Congratulations.
birthday
Yeah.
yesterday, born day yesterday.
Yeah, so
53.
So on my birthday, I recognize my sign in nature, which the word signature is the uniqueness of an individual. So you got to get tuned in to your sign in nature, and my sign in nature is the Capricorn. So that's the
is.
goat, and that's the animal that aspire to high horizons.
Yeah.
And climbing up mountains is a signal of knowledge. So you know what I'm saying, I had to reflect on, am I doing that? Is that the path that I'm on to stay grounded? Because you are what you was created to be, not the illusion of what somebody told you should be.
Absolutely.
Oh, put
That's
that in
right.
a rap song.
That's
man.
right.
Right, bars.
Ancestors.
Oh,
Thank you, ancestors. They
goodness.
got me on this bitch flowing.
Bad like bars.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh.
so I got grounded on my 53rd
On
birthday.
your 53rd birthday.
On this past weekend. So
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
Happy that you made it to 53.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And look forward to seeing what 53 has for all of us from you. So,
Oh, yes, yes.
So our guest, like we said, is Lorenzo Thomas, and Lorenzo is a there's many words that can describe Lorenzo, but he is we said we were going to leave this word back in 21. That's what we said last week.
We said it.
But, because black folk like to use it.
If they qualify, though, it like, I've just been using it accurately.
Yeah, we need a enlightened, woke, instead of woke, enlightened. Because Lorenzo really is a very enlightened brother.
Yeah.
He has a ton of knowledge on about a ton of different subjects, but he comes from a particular place. Lorenzo, tell me about, you teach a class, right? You have a group, or tell me about that.
So we have a group called the Mod Study Group. We meet every week at a brother named Fred Ward establishment on 105 and Superior, between Superior and St. Clair. And the study group it's really a spiritual, political, social organization aimed at the rebuilding of the melanated mind. Now, most of the time we call each other black, but truth be told, we carbon-based people. Carbon being one of the fourth most plentiful minerals in the universe, not in 115th, not on St. Clair. This is the fourth most plentiful actual mineral in the universe. So with that being said, because we possess that type of, I guess, divine material, it seems the reason that we should be educated on its history and its relevancy. So we teach about ancient mystic, the mystery system that evolved out of Egypt but didn't come from Egypt. And with that being said, we try to educate the children, the women, and the men. Because if you educate a man and don't educate a woman, you got to, it's no equilibrium. So every week we try to put ourselves in a position to give people the information. So we don't force it on them. So we don't go do no marketing. It's, if you get a word and somebody advise you on where we are and what we're doing, you'll be blessed.
So word of mouth basically
word of mouth.
is how people come to be in the group.
Yes, and we're trying to educate people about the knowledge of themselves first, and then those that emanate from them, as opposed to trying to tell them about somebody else. You know. So that's the group that we do, and I've been over that for about 14 years, and so it's steady moving. So in doing it, I've learned something about myself. So the benefit has not been to others, more so that it has been to myself, to prove to myself that you can be loyal, committed, and depended on. So those are great attributes that I kind of adopted by being in this posture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you are an example for other people, for other men, women, and children, for everybody, of the commitment and I would imagine you're there, whether it's one person or 100 or 1,000 people, you're still doing your thing.
Oh yeah. And
I know that it's well attended, just because the information that you're putting out, people are hungry and thirsty for this knowledge. We want to do, but we want to be better. We want to do better. We want our communities to do better. So thank you for what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
We'll double back on that a little bit, at the end of the show, just to put the information back out there about where you are, when you are, and that. So coming from your perspective, now Ty and I talk about sex kind of, relatively, all the time.
Because you be flirting with me.
Whatever, dude.
Well, at least in my mind. That's what I say when I go home.
Yeah, that's what you say when you go home. I don't even want to know.
I'm like, she is just too much. She was just all at me today. Oh my God.
I don't know what happens when you go home, Tyrone. but so coming out of your perspective, Lorenzo, like I said, Ty and I talk about sex a lot, but I want to talk about sex in a deeper sort of way. I want to talk about the divine side of sex.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's two conversations. Anytime somebody bring up sex, you got sex and then you got divine sex.
All right, let's talk about sex, regular sex first.
So sex is almost like a man without purpose, right? Regular sex is just like a man without purpose. In Europe, they used to call sex fucking, right? And according to European history, it's like beating on a woman. That's why most of their relationships are non-sexual. Most of their excitement is not sexual. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they're attracted to each other as much as you will see among other carbonated people or carbon-based people. It's not it's not a romantic, right. It's not a
Black and brown
you know what
and
I mean?
yellow.
Theirs is more systematic. We got to have kids, so we got to, let me just take this pussy. You know what I'm saying? And they
It
don't know how
does
to
seem
groom
like
it.
that. Like the Europeans
Oh.
seem less passionate. Like I'm
yeah.
not talking about. I'm not talking bad about them, but
Right.
they
It's
just
not
seem like
It's not an engagement.
business.
Because if you're having sex with the person, it ain't just with their body, because what makes up the body is the spirit, the mind, and the body. So if you just making out with the body, you're forgetting the spirit and you're forgetting the mentality, right? Because sex in a divine sense is more beneficial. But the sex part is the lopsided part, which is everybody is having sex, but ain't nobody coming up with nothing.
Oh,
So
talk about it.
when you talk about people, everybody's sex and everybody having sex, but is anybody coming? Because the definition of coming means you got to come up with something when you get done. Obviously, ain't nobody coming up with nothing because people are still doing dumb shit.
So let me ask
Talk
you, when you
about
say
it.
coming up, so when we're talking about divine sex and we're speaking about coming, we're not speaking of just the aftermath of, reaching your peak. You're talking about coming up with thoughts and ideas and
Right.
and new inspiration.
Well, think about it. When a woman have an orgasm in a man, you say that you're coming. So that orgasm is like a cosmic manifestation, as it would be. So a universe is created by a different abode of chemistry that produces a material. So in sex, when you come, you should be coming up with something that taps into consciousness of purpose, so that 85 to 90% of women never have orgasms. They have climaxes.
Right.
And it's a difference between an orgasm and a climax.
Yeah, talk about it.
But if you have an orgasm is synonymous with an organism. An organism is something that is authentically real and it's natural, so it comes from the divine. So if you have an organism, you have something that you can tap into that will give you a sense of purpose and direction, and it will give you, it authenticates you. But if you can't connect the spirit, the physical, and the soul, which is the gas, the spirit, the physical, and the soul, if you can't connect them, when you get finished, you feel just as worthless as you did before you started. So you wake up from that and say, damn, I wish you get away from me. I wish you get out of my face, because you didn't come up with anything to authenticate.
There's no connection.
Right.
Look, and I pull out, so I don't have no
You see what I'm saying?
organisms.
You
I don't
see
be
what I'm
trying to have none of them. I just be
Right.
like, nope.
Right.
I'm not having.
So-
I ain't want to have no more kids.
That's right.
Fuck
So
that.
you tapping in, but even in the coming process, it's almost like when the orgasmic experience. First of all, when a orgasm happens, that's the part of the body that releases all of its hidden secrets to the cell, so that the cell can give a heredity or an inheritance to transfer to the ethers, to the atmosphere, or to the conduit, which is the female. So even if you pull out at the part of an orgasm, you're still generating a composition of esoteric or hidden or subconscious information that's got to be inherited.
So you saying
That's how and
the
why.
energy still it's transferred, even
Yeah.
though,
That's
even if you
right.
don't
It
give
get
her the
encapsulated into the
juice.
cell, right? So
Yeah.
the fact that when the orgasm is forming, it is sending a message to the cells it don't know that it ain't gonna be catched. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So it's sending out that vibration to be coded in the cell. And then when you get ready to shoot it off, you just don't direct it to a conduit necessary. You put it in the atmosphere. But even with you doing that, your conscious mind, a thought will come up. Damn, I should stop being stupid. Damn, I should start putting
to
this
that
with that.
point, that's how and why sex magic is possible, because it's
Oh, yeah.
not about where you're coming, where you're putting anything. It's about the energy and the vibration that you're directing towards something during that orgasmic peak.
That's
and so
right.
that creates things.
That's right. But
Yeah.
that material is generated in a totally cohesive continuity episode within sex. When you have sex, it's not about physical compatibility. It's about, is my bills paid? Do I have meaning?
Right.
Are the things that I'm concerned with being manifested? Is this something that is warranted? In other words, you're giving a secret part of yourself to a soul that you are not even connected with, because there's no intentional or no ethereal purpose to y'all gathering.
Yeah.
Because when you're making love, you are actually creating the manifestation of purpose. And so when you get with a person that is a trigger for your mentality for that, you are thinking of all the things that is going to be the result of this relationship. Oh man, this person is great. They're great because they need A, B, C, and D, and you're providing that for them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And you know that you're providing it for them, and replicate it back to you. I need this kind of intensity. I need this kind of value. I need this kind of motivation, and I'm getting it. So what happens is the hidden genius in you explodes with expectation. You see what I'm saying? Because when you expect a lot, you open yourself up more.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
For good and bad. If you're
For good
being
and bad,
honest,
yeah.
For good and
Because
bad.
expectations, you be like, man, I really want it. And it's like, oh, she ain't shit. And it's like,
Right, but
disappointed.
remember, expectations they're actually revealed before sex. Is because when you're dating, you're trying to ascertain the worth, the value, and the potential of a person. So when you have sex, you're only having sex to manifest what you know to be true. That's why it's always we shooting we're shooting duds because we really don't know those things. And so it makes the body feel good, but it don't make the spirit or the soul feel good.
Okay.
And when you get finished, that's why you be like, hurry up and leave. That's why it's so easy for you to be like, hurry up and leave here before my daughter and my mother see you. You see what I'm saying? Because only a third of the 33 or the 99.9% of the self is being
This
spoken
is
to.
a physical thing.
It's
We
a
ain't-
33% thing.
Yeah.
Because the body is pleased, but the soul
But
and the
the
mind
soul,
ain't
right.
there.
Right.
And when the soul and the mind get pleased, you're gonna come.
Yeah.
90% of women never have orgasms.
That's absolutely the truth.
Most women, after a physical sex, actually go masturbate.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a known
very
fact.
true.
I
Yeah.
see so many. Girl, what you doing? Put this down.
Yeah, well,
I
she-
mean, when
yeah.
you get up and go to the bathroom,
You see how hard I'm sweating?
Yeah.
Try to get you there.
And you know that a person hasn't came or come up with anything because when you get finished with them, they're just as dumb as they were before you started.
so tell me something. They're just as dumb as they were before you started. What can you see the difference? Like,
Yeah,
can you
the
see? So
difference.
what?
Because
tell us what it's like.
Success is the reflection of reality. So if you're not successful, then you're not real. The fact of reality is realized and realized. So if you think that you're with the right person, then things are going to be produced and you're going to be productive. You're not going to be angry. You're not going to be spiteful. You're not going to be non-motivating. You're not going to do the best that you can, and you're not going to be all that you can. Nigga don't check out the trash. Nigga don't clean up behind himself because he ain't got no respect for what being a beneficial entity may get. You see what I'm saying? Because if you want to fuck a whole female, you got to do all that matters to the whole female.
Yes.
So you got to open the door. You got to make sure she's safe. You got to make sure she's secure.
Now, look, I'm with you though on that, and I don't know. I'm not going to put it all on the females because I think guys do it too. But you can't give people privilege if they didn't earn, because they ain't going to respect it. You know what I'm saying?
But giving yourself, when somebody gives of themselves, that's oftentimes a privilege that you didn't earn.
And same thing, yeah. The privilege of me. You
Right,
know what I mean? Like you
right.
didn't earn to be staying in my spot playing PlayStation all day.
You didn't earn to enter me. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
But the fact of the matter is, when a person say you don't deserve the best part of me, you don't even have a best part of you to present because you don't have no knowledge of yourself. So when you get finished with something, your shit is something that somebody could take or leave because it ain't really worth nothing. or
What's
not.
the best part? Right.
Right.
What's the best part of you? What is it?
Because a divine sexual partner, it magnetizes and keeps you to it because you can't walk away from it because it's so powerful that you almost gotta beat yourself out of being submissive to this person because what they gave you was so impactful. You see what I'm saying? Good pussy ain't just good a vagina hole. Good pussy is a good chemistry
It's
of
the connection.
It's the magnetism of the cell development in your body, which is when you become a authentic divine specimen, you got a vibration that goes to you that when you pass by a motherfucker, the whiskers and the hair, the antennas of his hair stand up. You see what I'm saying?
No,
So-
I feel like I done got some good loving. Like I
That's
don't
right.
call it pussy, but loving like that. Like
Right.
talking about toe curling.
Sure.
Man, my foot made a fist. Nigga,
Sure.
like just
Your
like
foot made a
man,
fist?
like
Yeah.
I was like, will you do me the honor? You know what I'm
see what I'm
saying?
saying?
And we got married. You know.
Right. So, but
it was,
again-
but I felt it was like a different connection as opposed to just lust.
Right, but the way you define it is, you say, my curls told, did my soul curl?
Yeah.
Did my spirit cold? So the spirit part of a person is the energy part of them. The soul part is the connection to worth and value and meaning. In other words, when you get some good vagina, we call it yoni. The word yoni, when we get good yoni, it makes a person get about their business more adequate. So when you get up from a good yoni experience, you get your ass up and start reading and researching and
Right.
dealing with the issues that you are ill from living in a traumatic society. So 99.9% of people are damaged products
Oh, yeah.
because we are victims of 500 years of being enslaved into a society that took the knowledge away from yourself. So a woman can't never come to you saying, I got the best pussy. You don't even know the best pussy. In other words, I mean, that's a lack of a better word because the word is yoni. It's not
Yes.
pussy. Pussy is
Yeah.
a plant, right? But
I was gonna
when
say,
we
for me, it's all the best
right,
pussy.
Right, but good yoni is the gateway to God.
Okay. I ain't had nothing to
Nah,
God, to
that's the
God
gut.
You
tears.
ain't had,
Because-
you
I
ain't
had
had,
God
you
tears.
ain't had none of that.
That's right, because good sex, it reverts you back to the knowledge after which you have been purposed. You see what I'm saying? Good yoni is called tantric sex. It's connecting yourself to the healing that you need to be reconnected with the creator and the source that you come from. And so we get into these ridiculous things about God and consciousness, and really good sex will make you go do the adequate study to absolutely know and not have to believe, right? Because believe means to be lie or to lie to Eve's children, which most of us are the recipients of lies. That's why we think sex is undivine and it has nothing to do with God, and it is not the access to God. But factually, facts is the yoni is the gateway to God, and in order to get to God, you got to have divine sex.
Let me ask you this. So in divine sex, most, not just Christians, but of the three major religions, they suggest or tell you outright that you shouldn't, have sex outside of the confines of a marriage situation.
Sure.
Explain
So-
explain your viewpoint on that.
and so sex before marriage is unnatural, it's unethical, and it's undivine because the word marriage is being supplemented or replaced by the term to be merged into worthiness. So I shouldn't have sex with a person unless I have been merged into worthiness. In other words, are you capable of elevating me to the potential that I'm capable of being, right? Are you the one that's going to hold me accountable? And then are you going to be the one that motivate me? Because some people give out sex unwarranted and they make a person worse than they were before they had sex.
Amen.
You see what I'm saying? And if a person holds you accountable, that's the merging of what the creator used the vagina or what you call the yoni for. It's for the pull to man to the altar of expectation. So when you're going to get magnetized to the woman, you're going to be lusting after her, but then she's going to give you the expectation. And if you want this stuff, because it's probably the best stuff you ever going to have, it's better than chili, it's better than your mama's soup, it's better than that good macaroni and cheese your mother made. If you want this, first of all, you're going to have to wake it up and make it want to open up for you, because me and you know sex shouldn't be done if a woman is unlustered or unready, which is being, you call the term wet, but we call it when everybody come to the stage. Because
When everybody come to the
come to the
stage.
stage, it's all the moistures that you need for good lubrication and authentication and good vibratory power and potency. When it comes to the wheels or the walls of the vagina, then it's ready to receive you. And naturally, a real woman ain't ready to give up no sex. Let me get dog dirty nasty. She ain't ready to fuck unless you have done that which is worthy of being fucked,
Right.
which is taking care of her personal life and her
Right.
spiritual life. Because if her body and her mind ain't whole, then the hole that you trying to get into ain't whole.
Oh, shoot, say that again.
Shit, I forgot.
I ain't never had a half a hole. I thought I might have.
Yeah, play that back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Can we play the tape back?
So when it opens up, everybody that's being called to the altar is going to lubricate the environment and be receptive, and then send the energy to the phallic to make it God driven. And so when a man wakes up, he will act like a king, not just call himself a king. Because a king is a person that takes care of his kingdom, which is the womb of life. You see what I'm saying? Because without the womb, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
And so you can't get it ready unless you provide the sustainability of its existence. And when I say the sustainability, that means make sure that it's all right, because it can't be all right if it's half crazy. Yeah, Aaron.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit go fast. Y'all gonna have to play this back and listen to it.
Man.
Oh yeah, a few times. We have
Yeah.
to listen to it a few times.
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked you about sex in and out of the confines of marriage. So it sounds like just having a you know, just hit it or quit it, just having little sexual liaisons is not. What is that? Is that not something that you should do? Can you get benefit out of that? Like what?
What happens when you're growing, you create reality based off of your consciousness of what is. And let's say you have a bad sexual experience it's not appropriate because you're not ready and they are not ready. What happens is you lock in the consciousness you have at that time. And when it's you, so you have all kind of wrong thoughts and you have all kind of remedial expectations. And so you become the product of what you think. And because your thoughts are remedial and subpar, so goes rational decisions, making adequate decisions, because you have had sex, which should be a confirmation. You are getting that confirmation without authentic reality.
Yeah.
Because the person didn't do everything you wanted them to do, so you got little grudges. You kind of mad. You kind of find like you feel like you've been cheated. You know what I'm saying? Because most men don't have their orgasm at the adequate time because they can't hold out long enough.
Right.
They can't hold out long enough because their breathing is off.
Run
tilt.
laps, guys.
So most men have an orgasm too fast, and me and you know it take a ton of work to have a woman to come because
Oh my
there's so
God.
many aspects with her. You should play with it, talk to it, and lay with it before you try to
Yes,
get into
sir.
it. And so what happens is when you get in there and you climax before they climax, then you talking about I need a break, and then they're thinking like, well, damn, where's the love?
Right.
Right,
You
right,
see what I'm saying?
right.
And so what happens is she want more because of the type of entity she is. She's closer to God than anything that you're going to experience in her true capacity.
Right.
And so you need to give God a lot. You see what I'm saying? And so you can't give her a little, you got to give her a lot. And the only way you can do that, brother, is you got to learn breathing techniques, because it takes so much to make a woman have an orgasm as opposed to a man. You see what I'm
True.
saying?
Very
Because
true.
there's more to her. There's more qualities to her. And her energy is the only energy between the two of us that's apt to have multiple orgasmic experiences.
Yeah, because y'all can't do that.
You see what I'm
Man,
saying?
I would die.
After time. So you got to use your hand. You might you might need to use your feet.
Man, everything.
And so you might need to you might need to talk to it a little bit. And then before you get done, you might need to lay hands on it, like calm
Right.
down, calm down, because she get the squirting orgasm
Right.
after
Oh, my
orgasm,
gosh.
and then you out in this motherfucker like, somebody save me. I need somebody to tap me
Right.
out.
I can't swim. Oh God.
Listen, if you done came across one that is
Oh,
not
boy.
multiple climactic or multiple climax, then you're having a person that's got blockages in their potential, because a woman is like a well of knowledge and a well of the redistribution of wealth for real, because
Yes.
the hidden mitochondria that's in her has more cell memory than what is in the male physical composition. See, the mitochondria in the DNA of a female is pre-masculine. The feminine energy in the female that's in a mitochondria is actually tapping into a deeper or more hidden part of the knowledge of the self, which is the knowledge of the universe and everything else, which you call God. You see what I'm saying? And so that part is what you're trying to tap into to get her to bring to the altar, right?
So not just tap that ass.
so that vibration can be shunned onto you. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? That's why even in the watered down version of the Helios Biblios interpreted by Christians or people that call themselves Christians, it says that the Creator gave you the woman to help you. You see what I'm saying? And the help don't means to follow instructions. The help means to add to or to aid in. And so they done turned it backwards and then made it like the man need to be put the woman as a slave and she got to follow him. And it's neither the man or the woman is in control. It's more so that she has something that you need to break bread with. You feel me?
I've been, I don't want to say convicted, you know what I'm saying? I've been with women and like, you know what? No, her. Like, this is where I'm about to build my house. You know what I'm saying? But, and I don't know. I mean, and maybe it did feel right. Like, you know, like everything was lined up. Like, she's a good idea. You know, I enjoy the sex. You know, my spirit's right with it. Like, my mama like her. You know, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That was the whole point I had. Like, I've experienced that. That was the whole point.
And what happened to her though?
You know, 90 days. You know.
We're gonna get you to one of Lorenzo's class.
Right.
Yeah, get me
90
together.
days.
Get me together.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So, but yeah, so in divine sex is divine sex. Like, what is a vine? A vine is something that transmit organic, original, nectar, or natural reality. It's say DIVINE. It's really saying like the vine.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The vine, because power comes from the vine. It's transferred from the root to the vine. That's the part that we can see. We see the vines, but it comes from the root and the seed, right? And the woman is the vehicle of that same terminology. She's the vine. You see what I'm saying?
I want to just take a minute to invite anybody who might be listening to call in with questions or comments. 216-772-3393. Again, the number to call in is 216-772-3393. If you have any questions or comments for Lorenzo, Tyrone, or even myself. I'm sorry, go ahead, Lorenzo.
No, so that's
on.
the term
You're
of
teaching
divine
today.
sex is it's a divine part, and don't get divinity mixed up with religion, because religion is the word relingual, means to rebind to bondage, to be manipulated, because religion is used to control people. So the divine is the vine of the nectar or the nectar of life, which is the netaru. That's why in ancient Egypt we called our examples netarus. You say gods, but we didn't say gods. We called them netarus, which is parts of nectar or parts of nature, and they all had degrees of information that they was born to personify. Or you call your personality is authentic. You was born to project a certain aspect.
Next time you come, you got to bring a list of these word breakdowns, because that's what I'm really digging. We're like, but I'm like, okay, I ain't okay.
I feel like Lorenzo needs to be a monthly guest.
Hey, right. Just come in and give us the info.
Because he's got so much knowledge and so much information that you can't possibly get it all in just one show.
Right. And so that part of the connecting a person with the source or the actual seed, that vine, when it's connected with the root and the seed, it will make you do the right thing. Because if you don't do the right thing, your life ain't gonna be sustained. And if your life ain't gonna be sustained, they can't keep getting that good. You see what I'm saying?
Be like,
so then why would a person tell a person to do something that's not in both of y'all best interests? In other words, you about to go out here and do something good or something dumb, baby, stay still. First of all, I need you around because I need you to keep being that funnel for me. So why would you go out there and put your life in harm's way? And a person say, I got to make bread like this, baby. You so creative, you can do whatever you need to do to survive out here. You don't have to go out here and go down the dark road that is mathematically sentencing you to a long sentence. It's mathematic. If you go out here and do this, such and such is gonna happen.
Right. The equation is already
there. It's just a patterns on win.
Yeah.
And you're worth more than that. So what I need to keep doing is giving you this good yoni or this good pussy so it can make you act right. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna give you the information, I'm gonna give you the vibrational leverage so that you can go out there and will yourself to destiny. You see what I'm saying? You can will yourself to destiny. And so the destiny that they have projected for the male, you know what I'm saying, is a game.
Yeah.
Because it's an all-out assault on the 666 masculine gene,
Facts.
which is you call them the devil, but it's only the devil against a system of oppression and degradation. So you are the devil of his system. You are not the Diablos devil. You see what I'm saying? That term 666 is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and that's carbon. And carbon comes from the pituitary gland, secretes the pigmentation you call melanin. You see what I'm saying? And so that melanocyte needs to be excited by his long lost friend, which is found in the mitochondria of the female's vaginal womb called the pussy or the yoni. And so when it comes forth because of the
Thank you.
treatment, because the way you treat her, that's gonna be the best pussy you ever had. Cause you, and it's only partially the best pussy you ever had if it make you keep doing wrong things, because you only gonna be able to get at it for a minute, and
Right.
then
It's
John
gonna
down
cut
the
it
street.
off.
Yeah.
Don down the street gonna be getting it,
Right.
or Cindy down the street gonna be getting it because
Oh.
you can't. Because
Don't
you
give it
can't
to
do,
Cindy.
yeah, because you can't do the right thing by it, because you need to. Like I said, you
Talk
might need to
to
use
it,
your
lay hands on it.
You might use your feet. You might use your mouthpiece. You might need to use your
Definitely.
intellectual ability.
Yes.
But the vagina, they only gonna come to the altar if they have been invited. And then the only way that everything in the vagina is gonna come to the altar if it's been adequately spoken to. Like, come hither, intellectual capability. Come hither, divine self. Come hither, purpose-driven self. Come hither, clean self. So don't bring me
Yes.
that old dusty pussy that you ain't got right for me. You know what I'm saying? And see,
Don't
and
bring
when-
me that dusty penis
yeah,
either.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that first of all, the woman that comes unprepared, that's a woman acting like she want to be by herself.
Talk about what unprepared is.
Unprepared is the victim of abuse and trauma.
Okay.
And so that because you don't know that you are traumatized and you don't know that you're a victim of trauma, you try to act like something other than you are. You try to act like Nicki Minaj, you try to act like Megan Thee Stallion. And one thing about a divine woman is you can't act like nobody else, because you wasn't made to do what other people was
That's
made
right.
to do. And so she's a gimmick that's paid and bought by a commodity or entity somewhere else. That ain't you. So then why are you trying to act like her? So the same debauchery that's going to befall her is going to befall you. You ain't never seen them stars have no longevity of relationship, because they characters. They're people that act like they want to be by themselves, and they do because of the way they run their mouth. I don't care what women have against a man. You don't talk to a man any kind of way.
That's so
it's
true.
better to leave him alone.
That is so
you see what I'm
true.
saying?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely
you're taking the worth and the value away from what you were created to do, which is to inspire the man. And if you can't do that, it's better to leave him alone.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Even if he's a low down, filthy scoundrel.
Even if he's a low down Scotty scoundrel, because
Yes.
what's gonna happen is he's gonna keep
Yes.
on coming back to the altar saying, "Why can't I get in?"
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you ain't clean.
Right. It's
You know
your
what I'm
chance
saying?
to educate him
Yeah, it's
and
your
to
time.
let him know what he needs to be, who he needs to
right.
be.
I'm gonna give it to you, but it's got to be right. You got to do your push-ups and do your breathing techniques. How long can you hold your breath? Because I'm gonna need you to lick it for at least 20 minutes before it
At
opens up.
least about 25.
right.
No, but I think that, when men are
I'm sorry.
are asking women, what can I do? Like, how can I be down? What can I do to get with you? I feel like to a degree, you should already know some of the basic things that need to be that need to happen in order to be in the company of somebody. Like, if you see somebody and this woman is, different than you've seen before and carries herself a certain way or whatever, there's some basic things that I think are just some basic things.
But you're only expecting that with the mind of, so your mindset is not real, because the reality of the condition that we living in is first. What is the reality of the mind that we're dealing with?
Well, it's all illusionary. Nobody's
No. First
paying
of all,
attention.
the black man has been attacked,
Right.
and he's been demasculated, and he's been stifled or taken. The knowledge of his true self has been taken away from him. So he's dead halfway. And so in order to bring a person back to life, there needs to be a certain kind of relationship. You have to be more mindful of the fact that he's half dead, if not all the way dead. That's 99.9% of men. And if a man come to somebody saying he ain't halfway or kind of dead, he's lying. And because if you ain't dead, well, how you gonna get this pussy then?
And look, he gonna lie
See,
because
'cause he-
being a man, we gonna lie.
That's what I'm
we
saying.
ain't gonna act like
Right.
we
That's a
half
testimony.
dead.
Right.
But that's a testimony against him.
Yeah.
Because the woman, if she's a true woman, she gonna say, "That ain't how you get it. You ain't gonna give me $10. You know I'm in a desperate financial situation.
40.
So I'm in a desperate financial situation, and since you saying that's what you have to offer, it's a game that you playing, and then it's gonna cost you all at the end, because when you get finished, the true assessment of both people in that sexual experience is going to be subpar. You saying most people that have money always get cheated on or cheat on. Ain't none of they motherfucking relationships pronto. They ain't none of their relationships all good because they don't have no longevity to them. So what's going on in their bedroom that's not building longevity? Because they're sending illusions to each other. In other words, she said, look, I'll do anything for the money, because she's living in a part of herself. She's not trying to get energy spoken into, and she's not trying to get spiritually spoken into. She's just trying to get the mutton, just the bare minimum of
Right.
what it take to look like Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? She trying to get them red bottoms. She trying to get that nice outfit. She trying to get them false illusion toys for her little degenerate kids. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about her kids now.
And so we're gonna ask her, when the last time you came?
Well, she gonna lie to you.
No, she ain't gonna lie.
She not gonna lie.
She gonna lie because
No,
she gonna
like
say I ain't
never.
never squirted. She gonna,
Right.
she gonna say I ain't never squirted, and I ain't never had that motherfucking experience where it feel like the motherfucking universe is being manifested in my mind. And I know, because look at what you are here doing. Because like I said before, when you come, that means you're coming up with something. So when you get finished fucking, if you ain't came up with nothing, you ain't nutted. Because the word nut means to have a motherfucking nucleus of reality. A nut has the inherent divine composition of the creator in it. So if you nutted, what's in your nut?
Oh my God, that's the
Tequila?
question
I
of the
don't know.
century.
Yeah. What's in your nut?
If you that,
Yeah, what's in your nut? Because I'm gonna see how the way you move. I'm gonna see by the way you walk around. You in a society that don't like you, that don't love you, and its downfall, your downfall is at the aim of the culture you living in. So how are you moving? Are you telling your sons, no matter what, I'm gonna always be around to teach you the skills that you need to survive out here? Or are you gonna go out here and gamble your freedom and not be there for your sons, so that when you come back, he walking around with Marcus, and Marcus is walking around in a physical relationship because they never had a man to gravitate their energy level to them. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I'm just saying.
This is deep, man. I'm gonna have to play this back. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of
yeah,
information.
oh yeah. You know, I listen to the shows always, every afterward. But I'm listening to this
But
about
we getting
2
hella
times.
feedback
Oh,
from
yeah.
Lawanda and Monique. They're
Shout out to Lawanda.
just
Thank you for your comments.
Knowledge is power. Just thumbs up. Amen. And a lot of stuff that you're saying.
Javante
Yeah.
says classic conversation.
Yeah,
it
Javante.
absolutely is.
Oh no, it's gonna be classic, because you're gonna have something in your subconscious mind that's gonna
Yeah.
go back to your medulla oblongata, and it's gonna be stored in the resources of your memory for the time that you need. Because what happens is, when a person got to make a decision, they ponder, and what's in their medulla oblongata, which is in their subconscious mind, is stuff that they've been feeding. Because you are what you think about, and you
Yes.
think about what you've been listening to, and you are the victim of what you've been listening to, and they have been programming us to fill our subconscious mind with foolery and things that don't bring success to our endeavors.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You met this girl and you say, man, it's the apple of my life. We're going to make bread. We're going to break bread together. We're going to make money. We're going to be successful. I love her. And then your life, as far as you can measure it, has been dematerializing since you met her. You see what I'm saying? Because she got you out here going to do things that ain't going to end fair for y'all. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Risking your life, and your life is more valued here. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Your life is more valuable on these streets. And I understand the game that they're playing. You see what I'm saying? I understand that the game of entrapment that they're playing, but divine sex make your ass find another way. You see what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna try to get that pussy long range, because ain't no time, ain't no such thing as meditation pussy. You see what I'm saying? You can't meditate it, you gotta touch it. You see what I'm saying? There's an intimate relationship that's got to be had with divine sex.
You can have a meditative moment over that boy.
Yeah, but
though,
that's
though.
only to remember. Remember means to put together or put back together when you remember. But then after a certain time of remembering, you need the real thing. Because there are 3 parts of the self that's trying to engage in this divine sex. There's the physical, there's the energy, and then there's the spirit. So the physical is the physical body, the ability to have a sensual or pleasurable experience. The physical body was made to be pleased. You see what I'm saying? That's why when somebody walk past you by the opposite sex, even if you was blind, your hairs would swell up just because of that electric magnetic energy walking in your presence.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's the opposites attract. Opposites what? The masculine and the masculine and the feminine energy. You see what I'm saying? And because the masculine and the feminine energy has to be developed a certain way, right? Because if it get confused or you don't develop it the right way, you gonna have same looking for same, and ain't no satisfaction in that. And
No.
it is, but it's only physical. It's not energy or spiritual, because the universe among humans is exacerbated or elongated by reproduction.
Absolutely.
Right. You have,
So
you have to
I ain't
have
saying
it.
nothing against my brothers, but you can't reproduce what can't be reproduced. And if the goal of reproducing is to reproduce, you ain't doing it right.
Shout
No,
out
right.
to Lex Vegas. Give us a call. Call in. If you feel something is missing, call on in
Don't
and
be
lend
afraid.
your voice.
Don't be afraid.
I
'Cause
agree
I'ma
with what
tell
you're
you-
saying though. Like everything in nature is about reproduction.
It is.
That's,
Right.
that's what they're. If nothing else.
Coronavirus.
Yeah. It's
Delta,
reproducing. just
Omarion.
making all type of kids.
Absolutely. That's
Right.
what the job of any living thing is to keep itself going, is to replicate
Yeah.
itself into infinity.
But I feel like the world has made that a secondary thing when it should be a primary thing. Like the pleasure from sex, the
Right.
physical has become the primary. And it's like, nah, kids, you don't need kids. It's like, but no, as a species, this is what we're supposed to do.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Period.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm on
Yeah,
my
and-
soapbox.
Don't be sorry,
I'm on
because
my soapbox.
but we see how society is being structured, and women are waiting later and later and later to have children, and then they're having issues having them
Mm-hmm.
because you're only super fertile for a particular period of time. And I'm not saying anything against people who put career first and who want to be in school for a long time. Not saying anything against that, but what I'm saying is the way that our society is structured is setting people up, and us by the greater numbers, for not being able to reproduce.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna tell you something. It says in your Helios Biblios that 1,000 can put 10,000 to flight. That means you can only produce one son. And one woman, if they're the boom shakalaka, you see what I'm saying?
shakalaka.
If they're the boom shakalaka, they're gonna come out monstrosities in their personification of the divine, because every personality is trying to personify what's in it. You see what I'm saying? But what happens is subpar mothers and fathers develop subpar children, and they never evolve into the masculine monstrosities entity that they were supposed to be. So we try to have 20 to make one, and you really only need one
One good one.
or two, because you only got two fallopian tubes and two breasts, because you can only feed two at one time, unless you got three, you know what I'm saying? And that's some synthetic shit. You got three titties, but
I want to meet her.
Goodness.
yeah, you got three.
Stop.
You got
Of
two,
course you do.
You got two mammary glands because you're supposed to be feeding two children. You understand? So what happens is we don't need to necessarily have children at an early age, because the status of maturation and mentality is delayed because your adversaries have confused education with memorization.
We
You
don't
see
need
what
to
I'm
have
saying?
them at an early age, but what we've done because of the society that we live in, we get older and we live longer, but look at the things that we do to ourselves. There are women, technically speaking, I'm still, childbearing age. There are women much younger than I am who, because of the society that we live in, the things that we consume, all jacked up. Absolutely all jacked up.
Right, because their intentions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the intentions because of bad experiences.
Partially.
I was going to say, what do you mean by jacked up?
Well, I would
Not
say,
not bodies just not in
Oh,
condition.
physical, yeah.
Yes, not I'm not talking about mentally. I mean, obviously that's its own component, but I'm talking about physically, having the physical capability to be able to conceive and bear a child.
Gotcha.
yeah, and so the body is able to live extended years, and so the black female is the oldest female on the planet, and she's able to live the longest life. So truth be told, at 50 and 55 in the historical, and so, but I don't want to get into the history of yesterday, because that negates what's happening now.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people try to live in the past and in the future instead of living in the right now. And the right now status says you're abusing your body to the point where whatever it produces is going to be subpar, because a child is a replica of what produces it. It says
Absolutely.
a tree is made known by the fruit that it bears. So if you want to know the tree, then look at the fruit. And if you want to know the mother, where's the causation of this behavior coming from in this child, look at, you see what I'm saying? Look at the mother and the father. Because a child is a victim of what produced them based off heredity, because they inherited the vibrational behavior pattern that they have. And so you was jacking off and looking at sex when you was making this baby, so your son grow up to be a motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, lusting lunatic.
Yeah.
So you're saying he trying to hump without cause. Now we know that's the nature of human, but most humping is with purpose. In other words, I ain't trying to hump on nothing that's gonna be my detriment, and I ain't about to hump on nothing that's gonna make me go to the penitentiary.
But, okay, but see, on the flip side though, I know guys who, I knew this guy, he was 21 with 5 baby mamas.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Just humping with no
regard.
and no
reckless.
Yeah, just reckless dicking out
Just-
here.
yeah.
Like, but it's like, it seems like he had a purpose. Like he was proud about it. He wasn't taking care of them, but he was
that's
proud
good.
that he had 5 kids.
Well, but this is good though. It's because in the divine reality, the man was made to impregnate multiples. You saying? So we know in one. So for example, if a man have an orgasm, he's probably, and then theoretically, because I haven't never counted these, but they say that when a man ejaculates, he said the 77 trillion sperm heads go out in a magnetizing situation where they are literally looking for the egg.
It's a
So
legion.
so it's 77 trillion heads trying to get to that one egg. You see what I'm saying? So they all fighting, and the survival of the fittest starts. Whichever
hunting
one
for
gets
real.
in, whichever one gets in first, turns around and look at the rest of them like, nah, nigga, I got in. You see what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
and I'm closing the door.
Yeah. So what he's doing is, once he gets there, the egg is like, damn, you know what you had to do to get here? You had to outdo all of them. So the fact that you still alive when you get here, big props. But the fact is, what is he carrying? You see what I'm saying? Because he's carrying a message, because when a man ejaculates, his DNA is going to record a snapshot of the status of what is producing him. So if it's 33 levels, you at 10. That's what that sperm is going to
It's
get.
level
that
10
egg.
sperm. You ain't
You
that's
see what I'm
level
saying?
33.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So now you got
Like,
10 children, but they only add up to, like, you know what I'm saying, a portion, a part of what. And so now you got subpar potential in these children, because in other words, when you transfer your molecular structure, it's going to record your status at the point where you
At the time.
transfer it.
So,
So if you ain't been studying, if you ain't been disciplined, if you ain't been analytical, if you not been observant, if you not been comparing and contrasting, if you haven't been using higher expectation, if you haven't been using discipline, right? Which the word discipline means to be taught. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you're not a person of integrity, which means integration, which means is all of the different parts of you haven't been developed, then you're gonna transfer based off heredity a small portion of what your true worth is.
I
see what I'm
get
saying?
you.
So you
Yeah.
got all these kids, but ain't none of them gonna change out or exchange out.
So ideally, you want to better yourself before
That's
you
right.
try to have children.
That's right.
As best as you
Absolutely.
can.
Because it's a
Absolutely, yeah,
vibrational
absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
You're transferring what you accumulate. So now, in order to give your children a better chance, you got to get the best out of you, because nothing from nothing comes nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, look, I had my daughter when I was 18, and I always tell her I would have waited till today to have her, just to have more to give her, just more knowledge, more information, more whatever. But
The beauty of that, though, okay, so we're speaking of what should be done,
Right.
all right, but there's so many of us that are already here, right? There's so many of us, there's so many of our offspring that are already here. So fortunately, we are still yet able to once you come into an awareness and an understanding of the way that you should be, of the way that you should carry yourself, then these are the lessons that we teach our young people before they begin to reproduce. But it is still yet never too late to be able to pour in those things.
Yeah.
You wish you not saying you wish you would have waited, but you're saying, if you had your druthers, maybe you would have waited so that you can give her more. But there is still yet more knowledge that you
that's about to
can
get
give
good.
her even today.
Oh yeah.
So we want to,
this about to
but
get
you
good.
know the way that people take things. I don't want folks to think that just because you were not at a good point, not at a good place, not at the ultimate place when you did what you
this
did,
about to get good.
that doesn't mean that you can't give. I look, for example, I always use myself an example when we're talking about things. I look at my own life and my own children, and I was younger when I had my first son than when I had the other two. And I look at, how I did things and how I raised them. And I even look at the way that I dealt with my older son versus the younger two. But fast forward to the point where I began to be more conscious of who I am, what I do, what I want, and how I move about. And the things that I started learning and then passing them on to my children and watching the change in them, seeing them take the knowledge and information, even just the little bits that I knew at the time, and just running off with it. And I just look at, and that's not to say that, people don't have their own idiosyncrasies and people don't have their own little, things yet and still. But the things that my children, I didn't have this knowledge when I had them. But as I came into it and gave it to them, even though they were younger teenagers, older teenagers, young adults, they still grasped it and they took it, and they're learning from me, and then they're yet learning their own. They're in their own way.
Here's the divine rescuing of it all. The fact of the matter is, some people's children are not even theirs. They're their great-great-grandmothers. Some children are manifestations from
Hey,
ancestors.
you ain't gonna take away what I did.
Well, listen.
All right. Say what you want.
Watch this.
Okay.
Watch that come
But
back. Some children are the manifestation of ancient ancestors revisiting. Because
Mm-hmm.
the fact of the matter is, in the womb of the woman called the fallopian tubes are all the eggs that's ever going to be on this planet
That's
inside the
absolutely right.
female. So all
her
the
ovaries.
people in her ovaries,
Yes.
inside the fallopian tube, at the extension of that, you find the whole shambhala, the whole kaboom of life on this plane inside the womb already. There's no new eggs ever produced. And the egg is a symbol of a nectar of the divine stored in the womb of women.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So that means consciously you are what you can remember. So a soul might only remember its first mother. It might remember its great grandmother. It might remember its great great grandmother. It's a verb or it's a stanza in the Helios Biblios that says, "I am the God of their father, visiting iniquity upon the third and the fourth generations of them that hate me." What that's saying is, when a child comes forth, it has the sum composition of 4 generations possibly. But then when we get into meditation, the word meditate means to connect with the source from which you come. You come from the whole divine. So if you meditate, you might connect to some shit that ain't got nothing to do with your mama, your grandmama, your great-great-mama. It might be something that the original beings on the earth. So your child might be, listen, everybody got this confession. Child, who are you? Who are you?
Where did you come
Where
from?
did you come from?
Where did you
That's
come
what I was
from?
looking
That's
for.
right. Where did you come from?
So now
Yes.
the ancestors are revisiting based off of the meditative posture of the parent, because we're electrical beings. So we work on vibrations. So is it possible for you to tie into a bigger part of yourself, a more ancient part of yourself? Sure it is.
Absolutely.
So when you teach a child a technique, you might say, hey, in order for you to advance, you gonna have to forgive some of the things that I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't the worst mother, because all of us been set up in the trap.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
all victims of Babylon. We all victims.
We all bees in the trap.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, for real.
Say that. Say that again.
Bees in the trap.
Yeah, we all bees in the trap that was set by a more astute fiction. A person. We was all put into this matrix.
A beekeeper.
You see what I'm saying? We was all put in this matrix by a more kind of conscious, not smarter. He's just more. That's why they try to get us with programming, try to get us to focus on this, focus on that. While the only thing you need to do is stand still and then vibrate and then the distractions will cease, and then you will be able to reconnect and realign yourself with the truer part of yourself, as opposed to the illusional side of illusional part of yourself. Because there's a real self and an illusional self.
No, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, only thing you need to do is look in the mirror and then wonder why the part of you that's looking in the mirror is saying, "Look at your ears. Look at your eyes. You a funny looking dude. Well, I thought you was me. Well, why are you looking at me as though you are not
Or
me?
somebody
Nigga,
different.
I ain't you."
Right.
Right.
But they told me I was handsome.
No, you dumb as fuck. Yo, you dumb as fuck because you said it last time. You be like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. Why I do that, nigga? I ain't doing that. Even when you try to make decisions in everyday life, you are going back and forth and wrestling with these depreciative or degenerative parts of your persona. You see what I'm saying? Your personality. And you're arguing with the lesser developed parts that was inherited. You inherited. This is where heredity, and a heredity is a composition of a cell that has the manifestation of a certain truth. You see what I'm saying? And your truth is consolidated in a thought. Once you come up with something and you authenticate it, it's in stone. It's a cell. So you got dumb cells running around like, damn, nigga, I'm about to rob this bank. And then you got smart cells saying, nigga, you better not do that.
Right.
Yeah,
Be
because
in trouble,
that good,
right.
Listen, because that good pussy you done found around the corner,
She gonna
you
leave.
ain't gonna get it no more.
She gonna
so
give
you
it
better
up.
find something else to do. And nigga say, nah, nigga, that's what she want. And then you do it and it don't come to pass. And now the memory of that cell comes back and says, hey man, if I was you, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Because the last time I had a soul sister, I lost her ass. And this is a part of a cell that came from the ejaculation of your father. And there's 77 trillion of them niggas. You see what I'm saying? So they all got a testimony.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm
Man, shout out Lorenzo, man.
Yes,
This guy
Lorenzo Thomas. This guy.
dropping
right?
knowledge. Hey,
This
appreciate
guy.
you, brother.
Shout out to the ancestors.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Lorenzo, we thank you so much for coming by and dropping knowledge. I was serious about what I said about you coming back. So.
Well, let me tell y'all something before I leave.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you how to get some good
okay.
sex. Let me tell you how to get some good
Okay,
sex.
tell us. Let me get your pen out.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, listen.
Okay, about to write.
First thing you got to
Let's write
do
this down.
is you got to talk to the woman as though
I'm-
and sincerely. Now,
Wait,
this
you
ain't game.
talking to females too?
You talking to female? I'm talking to females. I'm talking to a masculine entity to
You said you got to
Let
talk
him
to the
finish.
woman. I ain't talking to the women.
Let him
So-
finish.
no. So you got to part
got to
this.
get this right.
So when I go into her, I'm gonna say, where are you wounded at? Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? So where can I? Cause see, if I heal you, I make you whole. So where's your issue at? So if I being a real man, I know what I can do and what I can't do. So, so you got some issues with your past relationship with your father. So I'm gonna try to help speak to that, because I need you to release some stuff and let go of some stuff. Because if you don't, it's gonna get in the way of me making you have this monstrositous orgasm that we
won't
looking
be that
both
freak
at.
nasty
'Cause
I
I
need you to
want
be.
listen. I want you to squirt on the next street. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is I need to get out anything in the way that's gonna impede that. Okay? So no, you're not pretty because you look like Nicki Minaj.
Right.
No. You pretty because you got the right kind of forelobes. You got the right type of nipples. The little itty bitty titty committee. That's right for me. But I understand because I understand that even if you ain't like Megan Thee Stallion, you still have the elixirs of excitement, which is wherever melanocytes are stored at in the body. Those are the dark spots. Any dark spot in the body is excitable. But when you excite them, like the ear, the neck, the buttocks, the vagina lips, the knees, the knuckles, and the lips,
Okay.
you have to massage them. When they come forth to the altar, you got to speak healing to them. You got to say, it's going to be all right. We're going to fix this issue you have with your baby daddy. We're going to fix this issue we have with your degenerative mother. We're going to fix the issues that you have that you don't feel like you connected with God. We're going to fix this. You see what I'm saying? So you calling all of these unmet desires that everybody has, the desire of having the worthiness about themselves,
Yes.
Absolutely.
have
Yes.
a meaning to themselves. And
Yes.
it's got to be authentic.
Right.
So then when you have that, you say, where they at? Where they at? and then they come forth, then you got to massage them to let them know, because see, you call them forth mentally. Then when they come forth, you got to get the massaging hands together, brother. You can't use your motherfucking catching hands and your basketball hands just for dribbling a basketball or catching a football. You gotta massage the mitochondria of the ancestors in those dark spots. So when you get to rubbing that body, that's gonna release the defense. So that when you open those lips up, you're going to slide in like Superman. You're going to be able to create the friction. Now, listen, before you slide in, if you don't understand nothing I'm saying, you have to be in shape.
Yes, laps.
Cardiovascular, because you dealing with the divine
Push-ups.
womb of the universe,
Yes.
which is boundless.
Energy.
It's boundless.
You got to warm up
Yes.
first.
Listen, it's
You can't just go in
boundless.
there dry. You got to
Listen,
stretch.
it's boundless. It has the expansibility of Plastic Man. So when you open this up, you're gonna have an extraordinary liquidation expansion capability. So you gotta breathe and take your time.
Put the cigarettes
because
down.
when
Yeah.
a man breathes, his capacity to hold back is more stronger. So now you
Facts.
stunt your quick 10-minute man. You know the song say, I don't want no,
No,
1 minute,
1 minute
man.
man, yeah.
You gotta be able to hold back.
It's
You
10
see what I'm
minutes
saying?
quick. Is that-
See, because when you're massaging it, you're getting it ready.
Right.
When you're massaging it, you're giving it a chance to come out. So by the time you get in it, it then came 2 or 3 times. So that when you push up in it, it's the knockout punch.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And then when you get finished with it, you gotta rub it, corral it, and talk to it, and then you
and
can
lay
go
hands on it and talk it down.
You gonna walk, listen,
Hey,
and
little
this is
kitty,
where-
how you doing?
listen, you gotta talk to it. You gotta authenticate it. Say, I didn't just hit you because you was the only one available.
No.
I didn't just hit you because you didn't have a good relationship with your daddy, and you looking for a relationship with a man, and you'll take anything at this point. That's not why I dealt with you. I'm not dealing with you because you're not looking for glamour, because you're jealous of what the status quo of the woman has been portrayed to you, and thus you have been wasting more energy trying to look like something that you cannot look like, and other than looking like your authentic self.
Right.
So you've been sending energy in a way that I can't bring back unless I get you to dealing with you. And so the energy with you is enough. You see what I'm saying? And so when I get finished with you, you see what I'm saying? Because you walking and talking and touching it and licking and slicking it. And so you say, when I get finished with you, you going to come up with something.
Yes.
In other words, the community that needs a doctor, here go a doctor.
That's right.
The energy that need a
Yes.
motherfucking construction worker, when
Here
you
he
get
goes.
finished, she going to come up with something.
Right. So to that point, Lorenzo, next time you come back, we're going to talk about how to get to that man that's able to speak to the woman. We're not going to talk about that today because we are out of time. But when you come back, that's what we're going to talk about. But Lorenzo, thank you so much for coming on. Tell us again where people can see you live and in living color.
Oh, well, like I said, damn, they all laughing. But listen, at 966 East 105th Street, every Sunday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we dropping knowledge. So it's not limited to this, because sex starts with how you treat people.
Yes.
So we can, you know what I'm saying? So
That's just a portion.
that's right. So
Right.
we speak to the whole man. So
Yes.
966 East 105th Street every Sunday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And it don't matter if it's 1 or 2 people. And so during the coronavirus, we've literally had 1 or 2 people. You know what I'm saying? But we base our meeting based off studying, not dogma,
Right,
studying.
right.
Because we bring all the religions to the table, because every religion got
Yes.
something to offer. So our ability, if you study, I don't need to tell you what to do.
That's right.
It's
Right.
gonna come to you.
Bring your pen, bring your paper, and be ready
That's
to
how it is,
receive,
right?
because there is so much information
This is
that
the
Lorenzo
ancestors.
has to offer to the ancestors.
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 To the ancestors.
Yes.
We are where we came from.
Yes, we are.
Well, I'm gonna work on my breathing.
Oh yeah, you gotta work on
Put
the
them
breathing.
cigarettes down,
Yeah.
bro. But
Breathe,
Lorenzo, thank you
brother.
so much for coming on. We truly, truly appreciate you. Was this not an awesome
This was
show?
awesome.
An awesome
I didn't
guest?
know. It was a lot of information. I'm definitely gonna go back
Oh, yeah,
and watch
this-
this to
this
get the
man
rest.
is the
but
truth. He's
you was giving me some
absolutely the
stuff I
truth.
wanted to hear. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that why it ain't working? Okay.
Thank you, everybody who commented. And next time, guys, call in for us because we want to hear your voices. We want to hear you talk back to us. But thank you, everybody. And this has been another episode of Tea Time with Tacoma Maria. And as always, when you change how you view things, you change how you do things. Peace.
Hey, peace. Hey, y'all on Facebook? Hey, I see y'all. Your boy trying to stay alive, so I got to stay off of this feed. Yeah, they want me to get on, but the niggas gonna come looking for me.
Yeah.